So welcome back to the channel. And folks, this memory storage thing is starting to hurt the hustle. So when I started my channel about 6 years ago, it was mostly to vlog the fact that I go out, I get used PC parts, and I build cheap budget gaming PCs. And the whole point of my channel was that I was able to show that it is possible still to game on a budget, get good bang for the buck, and that used stuff is actually not terrible. But with the RAM crisis, and now even stemming into the storage issues, I'm not sure if I could sell PCs much longer unless something changes. So the goal for 2026 was to kind of move forward and kind of show the whole budget DDR5 stuff that's out. I actually picked up 4 PCs, and these PCs, I got them really cheap, all supporting DDR5, but these PCs don't have any memory and they don't have any storage drive. I've been buying a lot of bare bone PCs, and I bought these things probably before things got real bad. And it's unfortunate because now with the prices, to sell these things for a good bang for the buck is going to be quite hard. And a perfect example is like 32 gigs of DDR5 memory right now goes for about $400 to $500. One of these PCs, I paid $200 for it. Now I have to put $400 in memory just to get it running, and now I'm $600 in cost, which means that realistically, and these computers, they do have CPU, coolers, power supplies, graphics cards. I mean, it was really good deals that I was getting some of these things at, but now to put $400 for DDR5 memory and even $100 for probably, if I'm lucky, a 1 terabyte NVMe, I mean, we're looking at $500 just right there, plus $200 for what I paid for it, so $700, which means now these PCs are gonna cost me, if I wanted to flip them and make money, I'd have to sell them for about 800 bucks, maybe make $100 profit. And honestly, that's really not gonna sell, because a lot of people that buy PCs from me, and the budget range that I've always stuck to is usually about the $300 to $400 for somewhat of an entry to mid-level PC, maybe about $400 to $500 for a mid-level PC. And the whole deal was that I was able to get complete PCs with memory and storage, all that type of stuff, refurbish it and flip it, and go pick out individual parts and assemble a PC together. But now it's been tough. Plus, with the DDR5 issue, I'm going to be running into another issue that I recently thought about, which could bite me in the butt. And I'll talk about that in just a sec. So let's kind of rewind to what's actually triggered this and made me realize that I'm really gonna have to rethink some things moving forward. First off, YouTube is not my primary income. It does make me decent money, you know, showcasing the builds that I do and just the used parts hustles. And the used parts hustle has been real big in the channel lately. A lot of people are watching it, getting good feedback on it, and I really enjoy doing that. But what really kind of helps keep the lights on and keeps this thing going is flipping these PCs. Sometimes I could go out and for a day's worth of work and a little bit of traveling here and there, typically after I get a couple of components, PC stuff put together, I can average, and this is just rough numbers, usually about $300 to $400 for a day's worth of work. Do that a couple of times a month, you could do the math. It does become lucrative. And then obviously I do a build and I take you guys with me on the journey and all that type of good stuff. And then I make revenue on YouTube, which really makes it worthwhile. But if I'm not able to get these good deals, then really what content do I have? So kind of jump into that a little bit. I'm not saying that I'm running out of content and that's the end of the channel. No, I have some ideas and I'll talk about that in just a sec, but I really have to put some things into perspective. And going back to it, what really triggered this was the other day, I went out, I picked up a laptop, got a steal of a deal on it. I paid $300. It had 32 gigs of DDR4, a 1 terabyte NVMe, fantastic laptop. I think it was a Lenovo ThinkPad Gen 1 or T15 G Gen 1. It was one of those Lenovo's, i9 10th Gen for $300, which was a steal of a deal. But the guy had a couple more for sale. I reached out to him, and I guess he got kind of smart and realized where he can make most of his money. He's telling me now that he's getting these laptops, and I bought a T14 from him too, not too long ago, well, about 7-8 months ago. Now he's taking the memory, he's taking the storage, he's selling that off, and then selling the laptops for bare bones, which realistically, yeah, that's gonna make him a lot more money if he's able to sell that memory and storage competitively. So I was unable to get more of those laptops, but at least I got one for myself. But then moving on, I figured, hey, while I'm out and about, let's go see what other deals I can get. And the issue I'm running into right now is that I'm seeing computers for good deals, but they're bare bones. A couple of these computers that I'm running into, actually a bunch of these computers I'm running into, typically are not having any memory or storage, which, talking to a few people who kind of are in the same world as I do, they're telling me straight up that, yeah, if they could get a good deal on some memory, especially the DDR5 stuff, they're flipping it, because it's more worthwhile to sell that memory on its own than actually putting in the build. You actually lose money on that. After that, I've been just kind of looking in my local area and everything, and man, is the market, it's slim. It's slim as far as good deals. Now I'm seeing DDR4 computers going up significant in price. People are selling more bare bones PCs, and there's not a lot of deals for me to go out and pick up to really make it worth my time. And going back to what I was saying earlier, I really wanted to focus on budget DDR5 systems for this year and do more moddings and really get into it. I had a couple of ideas, but now I really got to rethink things, because if this doesn't change, I really can't go that direction and still make it lucrative. Like I said, YouTube is not my primary source of income. It's an extra income. And what really is my primary source of income to kind of making the channel work, paying bills, and doing a lot of things that I do is flipping used PCs. But if I can't get the parts and get them for a decent price, then yeah, it's not really worth it. And like I said, I got 4 systems that I've picked up. They all need DDR5 and some storage. And yeah, for me to go out and get those systems up and running is not worth it. Now, one thing that I am thinking about doing is cannibalizing them, selling off the CPU and the motherboard. And a couple of, I think 2 out of the 4 have graphics cards, so I could sell the graphics cards, and I'm probably gonna make a little profit off of that, but not as much as I would have made had I been able to get memory relatively cheap. So it's kind of unfortunate, and yeah, it's really hitting home. And there's many of us out there who do the used parts hustles or flip computers and try to get computers out for a reasonable price, because here's the thing, the computer world has changed so much where gaming on a budget is really hard. But a lot of us go out there, we get these parts, we're able to cannibalize computers and just, you know, really make decent bang for the buck and get them out where people can afford computers. Being able to buy a computer for anywhere from, just depending on the specs, for $300 to $500 is what people are really looking to spend. More than that, it's hard. I mean, realistically, do you really want to spend $1,000 on a computer that you might like, you might game, you might not need? And then there's the other aspect. Well, if I'm going to spend $1,000 on this computer, I'd rather get a laptop, which I've heard that a couple of times, or they have cheaper models from Dell and HP, and you get what you paid for. They're not upgradable. So yeah, it's a tough one right now. It's really tough. Now, as far as DDR4, yes, that has gone up a lot too. I was looking the other day, like 32 gigs of DDR4 is about $200 to $240. But when I was paying $100 for 32 gigs of DDR4 and then just splitting it up to 2 systems, 16 gigs and 16 gigs, yeah, it even hurts the DDR4 systems that I'm trying to put out. So definitely something to think about. And then the other thing that just recently I thought about is warranty. So now when I sell a computer, I do offer a warranty, and it's to help the buyer, you know, give them more confidence that, hey, I'm not buying a used computer from some strange weird guy in the garage and then the next day he's going to ghost me. No, I usually offer a 6-month warranty on these computers, and if there's any issues, I'm warranty the parts. What I usually do is I keep a stock of parts, you know, extra memory, storage drives, graphics cards, CPUs here and there, and if there is a issue with it, I go ahead and warranty it out, and that way we don't have to worry about it. But the other issue is that, and this is where I'm probably not going to be pushing out these DDR5 systems now. If I sell a computer, and I know I have 3 of them that are out, which I'm nervous about, the parts that I'm putting these computers together are all used parts. And typically with used parts, if you're not the original buyer of it for certain companies, they're not going to warranty it. Plus, because it's used parts, it could be outside the warranty depending how old the used parts is. If I sell a DDR5 computer and that memory stick goes bad, and I have to buy $400 for 32 gigs of DDR5, and that computer, I probably sold it for about $500, I'm losing money. Not to mention now I have to wait on the RMA process and all that type of stuff if I'm able to warranty it out that way. But I don't have a stock of DDR5. In fact, the only DDR5 memory that I have in my house is on my desktop PC. Thinking about that, those systems, yeah, I'm probably not gonna mess with them, because if I can't go out and pick up a cheap set of DDR5 32 gig memory for $200, $150, it's not worth it. And that's definitely going to eat into my profits, which makes this, yeah, not ideal. And it kind of stinks because it hurts us DIYers. It hurts us guys that are out there flipping and enjoying this, because now it's just making computers, in my opinion, not for the everyday person. It's just making for those who have fat wallets, or in this case, the issue with the memory is that, you know, AI comes first, big corporation, big businesses, you know, because they're willing to pay for all this, they're going to get the first and the cream of the crops, and we're just left with the scraps, if you can afford even the scraps. So it's kind of my 2 cents on it. This situation we're in right now, it kind of hurts because I really enjoy making and building computers that are affordable for people, but yet still lucrative for me. But I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to do that. I have a couple of DDR4 systems that I can put together and flip and still make some decent bang for the buck on that. But in the other hand, I kind of need to hold on to the stash I have, especially with my NVMEs and my storage, because that has gone up. I still have systems that are still under warranty, so I have to kind of keep that in mind. And yeah, like I said, the DDR5 systems, I don't think it's really smart for me to go ahead and start selling those systems if you can't afford to fix it. And another thing that I ran into, and I've been seeing this too, I've actually ran into a couple of people that have come into the garage, and I wish I would have filmed this, but they had broken systems. One of them was a DDR5 system. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was an Intel i5 12th gen, 13th gen, whatever. It was outside the warranty, and the memory was bad. And the cost for him to get memory is about $400 for 32 gigs of DDR5. So now there are systems that people can't even afford to fix because of this whole memory issue. At least the storage drives are not too terrible, but they've climbed up a lot since the last time I did a video like this a couple of months ago. So yeah, that's even something else to consider. And kind of going back, I remember the GPU apocalypse, and this is kind of night and day. Yes, the GPU prices were ridiculous, and it was crazy that some of the GPUs that I had in stock increased in prices. But the difference was that even though GPUs were hard to get, they were ridiculous in price, you can still use your computer. Most motherboards had integrated graphics card, you know, Intel has it, AMD with their G series. But even if you didn't have a CPU that had a iGPU built into it, you also had the option of getting a cheap Quadro of Fire Pros, which those were my savior during the GPU apocalypse, in the sense that I was able to get those cheap, pop them in the system, still flip it for a decent price, tell customers, hey, when things get back to normal, we'll fix it. But at least they were still able to use the computer and somewhat game. If you don't have memory or you don't have storage, your computer is worthless. So as far as my plan moving forward, I got to think about it. I still got to make some money. Now, yes, I do repairs on the side, and that is somewhat lucrative, but the major source is actually flipping computers. So I'm able to maintain being steady on that. But now, just thinking about it now, if I run into customers that have bad memory or bad storage drives, and that costs more than what they have in their budget, yeah. And then again, even thinking about it, I offer free diagnostics. So now I spend this time, I diagnose the computer and the customer can't afford to fix it, then I'm working for free. And typically when I diagnose the computer for free and I give them a quote, hey, it's gonna cost X amount of money to fix it because you might need new memory or a new storage drive or whatever, yeah, they're probably gonna look at me and say, thanks, but no thanks, but that's a little out of my budget. So I really have to start thinking about that too. Moving forward, as far as like with the channel, I still have a bunch of cool ideas and things I want to do. I got some older systems. I got some really cool cases and some really cool ideas I'm still going to do. But one of the goals I wanted to keep moving forward was pushing on the budget systems, kind of keeping up more with the times, especially the budget DDR5 systems. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go that route for now. I'm not going to be able to build a lot of systems like I'm able to build because I do have to keep storage of memory. Going out there, I'm not finding the stuff like I used to. And I'm also finding whatever is out there, people are scooping it up quick. I mean, I'm usually pretty quick, but there was one deal. It was a really good deal, and it only been up for like 30 minutes, at least according to what it said on the ad for Facebook Marketplace. I reached out to the guy and I said, hey, I will give you exactly what you're asking for. And like 10 minutes later, the guy reached out, sorry, it just sold. Wow, in 30 minutes, that's pretty impressive. So it's kind of unfortunate. I mean, I love computers I do definitely consider myself an enthusiast, and I just, you know, I really enjoy computers, and I really enjoy flipping them, selling them, and buying them, and all that type of stuff. But it's kind of heartbreaking where I'm not gonna be able to do it at the volume I was. I'm gonna have to find other ways to do it. And I don't know, I'm not even sure if the $300 to $400 PCs that I normally sell is worth it. And even on a personal end, I was planning to upgrade my main rig, add some more memory to it, a faster CPU, and then my ITX build. I really wanted to upgrade that one to an AM5 platform, DDR5. But here's the thing, folks. I'm not saying that memory and storage is hard to find or unobtainium. I'm not going to pay $1,000 for just memory and storage. It's not worth it to me. I want to stay true to my roots, and I want to stay true to the channel. I don't want to be one of those channels that show, hey, I got the latest and greatest graphics card and the latest and greatest this, that, and the other. No, let's stay on the budget. Let's stay on used, weird stuff, customer complaints, all that type of stuff. So I do have some plans moving forward as far as keeping the content going and somewhat interesting. So stay tuned. This is definitely not a call to say, hey, I'm shutting down the channel, but it's to put it in perspective. And I want to hear from you guys that are also, you know, flipping used computers that is getting a little hard. And I don't know how we're going to be able to keep that afloat without some change in the whole memory thing. When it will change, if it will change, I mean, it'll eventually change. But I mean, for now, and talking to a buddy of mine who does this full time, he's shutting down. He's shutting down. He said he has enough for the next month or two to kind of keep things worth it. But then after that, if he's going to raise his prices, it's going to cut into the profits and overhead, and people are not going to spend those prices for, you know, this type of hardware. So folks, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, concerns, criticisms. Do you think things will get better? What are some alternatives that you guys who flip computers are considering to kind of offset the egregious cost of memory? And what other content do you recommend for the channel? I want to say, if you like this video, definitely hit the like button. What I will say is, if you like the channel, definitely hit the like button, because honestly, this video is a little unfortunate to make. Help us out and subscribe. And once again, we'll see what we come up with next.